What kind of fucking bullshit is like?
Dude, he does this every week.
The bad news is that civilization is crumbling around you.
Wear a dog mask, cut your dick off, bomb Palestine.
The good news is that you are not alone.
There's butthole shaving videos.
I feel bad for the minorities in LA for having to deal with the white people in LA.
You have 5 till midnight, live every Monday at 8 p.m. where you join 5 Limp Bizkit Americans to laugh at the absurd nonsense of the end of history.
Shit show right there.
Sam, stop it!
And welcome back to 5 till midnight, everybody. We were already having a good laugh behind the in the green room there about how Pittsburgh is supposedly a racist city, but we got lots of good stuff going on other than the fact that Pittsburgh is a racist city, and that is pretty great. Don't get me wrong, but anyways, let's go around. How's everybody doing?
Good.
Doing pretty good.
Had a good one.
Happy it's Monday. Let's go.
Yeah.
Fucking
Yeah.
5 till midnight.
Let's go. And we started pretty on time.
Yeah, we actually did.
Typo and Luke, both teams is actually everybody's camera's looking pretty good tonight. I don't know what the hell's going on here, but everybody looks a little bit sharp. I don't know if it's like the 1080p that they're forcing upon us, but everything looks pretty good.
We're in Trump's America, dude. Everything's better.
Yeah,
Everything's better, baby. Where's my shades?
There is this weird feeling of us being so back. Pittsburgh's a racist city. Elon's wearing the terrible towel. Trump is going around giving a hug to all the UFC speakers, and
oh yeah, dude.
Yeah. There's probably some other things I'm missing. So you guys go ahead, kind of take the reins from there.
Dude,
How else are we back?
He hugged Joe Rogan like a mafia don.
Yeah, dude, that was crazy.
It was. There was like that kind of sense of like pride in me watching, and I'm like, oh, this is fucking America, dude.
Yeah, I know, dude. Yeah, girls with big tits are back.
Yes.
They never left. The girls with big tits never left, though.
I know, but it's like the Sydney effect, because you got Sydney Sweeney out there, and you got the new Sydney that got all big now because of the UFC fights this weekend, or the Jake Paul fights this weekend.
Yeah, the ring girl with the Jake Paul fight.
The ring girl.
Oh, yeah. I wonder if Mike Tyson talked to her like he talks to the other female reporters. Listen, I typically don't talk to female reporters unless I fornicate with them. So what are we doing here?
Dude, I forgot. Like, I mean, I don't forget it because it's one of the greatest quotes of all time. But when he was yelling at the reporters, "Oh, fuck you too, you love me, faggot," like that. That wasn't that long ago.
Yeah, I mean, it was like a whole bunch of really aggressive stuff, and then he says, "I'll fuck you till you love me," and then like some of the other shit that was in that. If you look up Mike Tyson meltdown videos, it's so funny. He just has so many off the wall lines. But like, have you guys ever watched him on Joe Rogan? He is like the chillest, nicest dude ever.
Yeah.
But though, like, he gets mad and he just it's all bets are off.
Dude, I mean, I know we're talking about culture and the culture shift because like on the thumbnail we have like a lot of football players this weekend did the Trump dance after touchdowns. Like a lot. Like 10.
Not just like, NFL, like college as well.
College, yeah. The kid from Duke was he did the fucking bump. Like they're all doing it, and like it's like black guys are doing it, white guys are doing it, like literally everyone's doing it. Like no one cares anymore. They're like, fuck you, we're rooting for this. Like I think it's more of a fuck you to like what's been going on than anything else. Like
I kind of agree. I think it's like him losing in 2020, it gave him like 4 years to build like a counterculture, like he won more people over enough to like, or like it just more time for people to like look what they're like, what they did to him and what they continue to do to him. And then he like kind of like won over this underground culture. And then right when like come up to the election, you see like, dude, basically after he got shot at, all these people were like, I want him to win. And they were publicly saying it. And that changed.
It was a really weird thing because after the first assassination attempt, his campaign was still super low energy and boring. And then all of a sudden, I don't know what it was. It was literally like the 2 months leading up to the election. It was like an overdrive. The McDonald's stuff, the garbage man stuff are just like the two most memorable things. The Joe Rogan interview, which even like that interview wasn't that good, but I don't know who got in his ear those last 2 months, but they just went into overdrive and it was like, okay, this is like this is the Trump that everybody remembers. But Typo, much to your point, I really think that Yeah. Typo with the thin blue line hoodie. I do think Trump losing in 2020 honestly was the best thing for his political career because he skirted so many disasters that would have fallen on his watch. And then now he could blame those all on Biden. And like Typo, like you were saying, he had 4 years to continue to develop the whole MAGA culture, which really did, it was something significant from 2016 to 2020. But I think the kind of lying in wake for 2021 till now, I think benefited him more than it could have possibly ever hurt him. And I think that if he would have got reelected, I think it would have really damaged Republicans as a whole and the Republican brand as a whole.
That's probably true. Yeah, seeing him I think like you said, Kyle, like he gets shot at, and then like immediately we talked about it before during the summer, but like the Cincinnati Reds guys really doing like the ears like celebration after home run. Like it was like you saw it just like immediately, like they were like, you know what, fuck these guys, like this is crazy. They're just like rooting for this guy to get his head blown off on national television, and like I think most people are just like, you know what, I'll give, especially like rich dudes with money, and I don't even talk about white dudes, I mean like black dudes too, like athletes. They're like, I have nothing to like defend, like he's like, I'm already covered. I have money. I'll just fucking openly say what I feel now. What are you gonna do about it? Like Mike Tyson was on the interview right before the election. Talking about like Mike Tyson, and he was like on like a rap like a DJ show, and he's like, yeah, I'm gonna vote for Trump. What are you gonna do about it? And the guy's like, well, personally, I would just disagree with you. Like he's like a little bit.
Like, dude, he was gonna fight him.
But that's my point. Is like guys are just like, no, I'm gonna vote. Like, what are you gonna do about it? And everyone's like, I guess nothing. And then seeing like the left slowly be like, where were those 20 million votes? I don't understand. It's like, oh yeah, right. It's almost like they were fake or something.
And I think we have to also give credit to Elon Musk because I think if he didn't buy a major social media platform, then I don't think a culture like that could even develop. I mean, it's so crazy. He bought it, and then there was still kind of restriction. They started letting more and more people on, and a lot of to be honest, a lot of people that were banned were predominantly Trump supporters. Mega, there was so many people that came back to Twitter that I never heard of. I was like, who are you? And they're like, oh, this guy was a huge rabid Trump supporter back in 2000 whatever. And I was like, I didn't even know this person existed. And he's got he comes back and he gets 500,000 followers. And I'm like, dude, who are these people? Like all these people come out of nowhere and they can post pro-Trump stuff, and then it builds this culture on separate from the other ones. And then once Elon kind of broke the dam with that, I kind of believe that a lot of other platforms started kind of being a little bit more lenient about what you could talk about, because if it's all on X, they have to open up their censorship a little bit, or people will just flock to X for everything. So it opened up this whole, narrative. You can question narratives, you can push your own narratives now, and that probably really, really helped Donald Trump out more than anything. I think.
Elon Musk. I agree to Typo's point. I think if Elon Musk doesn't buy Twitter, he loses. Honestly, I think that was a giant part, because all of us got to be like, you guys are gay and wrong. Yeah. Here's all the memes of why you're wrong. And then people who maybe aren't as online as we are or into the know as we are, we're like, oh wait, what's this about Russiagate, or what's this about this? What's this about and then people are like, oh, and then
the Biden laptop story.
The Biden laptop thing, right? And then also the fact that Trump has a sense of humor, which is undisputable unless you're a brainwashed leftist. He's funny. He took the garbage truck shit, like Kyle said, to the next level.
He leaned into it.
Right, you lean into it, and they're so they're calling themselves garbage. It's you guys don't get it. You're never gonna get. It's like the Dr. Evil. Right? You just don't get it, Scott. Do you?
I actually thought it was kind of cringy. I mean, maybe it was too far for me, but there were people dressing up as garbage for Halloween.
Yeah.
They were online. It was crazy.
I had coworkers that were coming in with the neon vests on, and I'm like, I do think it's a little ridiculous, but at the same time, I look at it almost, and this may not, it would probably resonate more with you guys than anybody else, but I kind of look at it like sports teams. People looked at that and thought oh, I now have something to kind of hang my hat on. This looks small and goofy. They don't think of it this way, but most normal people, so to speak, or apolitical people are probably why would they do that? But though, to the in group, it's an in group signal that they really haven't had in a long time, because let's face it, John McCain, Mitt Romney, or whoever else was in the Republican Party, before then, George Bush, they didn't really have like kind of this rallying cry. Whereas like, in the early 2000s, it was more about like the war on terror, where if you're not with us, you're against us, you're with the terrorists. Now this is a little bit more of like, oh, we're like America first. And like, we could debate the merits of that all day, but at the same time, there is something significant to seeing people who largely were disaffected voters, because there was crossover from Obama to Trump. It wasn't a large crossover, but like a lot of people who felt screwed over and now feel like they have a significant representation after being called a racist for the last, 10, 15 years. They finally feel like they have somebody that at least speaks for them.
Well, that's the thing too, is like, and like we said this before, but those words mean nothing to me. Right. I could call that all day on Twitter. I'm like, I don't care. Yeah, sure. Whatever. Yeah. Like, I don't give a fuck. Like, it's like they still are banging that drum like it's gonna hit home like it would have in 1992, where if you call something like a Nazi 92, you're like, whoa. Now it's just like, you disagree with me on Twitter, you're a Nazi. You're like, yeah, man, check it off in the box. I could not care less. You're a fucking loser.
Yeah, I think for me, that's kind of like collecting scalps on Twitter. I'm like, oh, someone called me a Nazi. Oh, dude, I can quote tweet this and everybody's going to laugh with me. I made, there's a meme thing, and it was around when October 7th happened. And it was a little like Xbox achievement thing. And I put the gamer score award as 1488. And I put, because every single time I would say something about Israel, people were like, oh, I get it, you hate Jews. So I would just quote tweet them and put the 1488, congratulations, you're an anti-Semite or something like that.
But even, and to shit on the right a little bit here, I saw a video of a guy, and I think it was the Army, not the Marines type, I think it was the Army, and they were getting like a vaccine or injections, whatever, and this big burly black guy was like literally like screaming like, oh, like that, literally like that. And someone's like, okay, you saw that? Yeah. I went, this is our I wrote in the comments, this is our military. Holy shit. Like ... Yeah. Dude, one guy said, well, of course you think that because you're Russian. Like, I'm a Russian agent. I'm like, what? I'm like, you guys are retarded. Like, what are you talking? And they're like, oh, what branch did you serve? And I'm like, I'm not a pussy. It doesn't matter. Like, I don't understand how that's relevant. Yeah. It's like, so like the right has it too with certain things, but it's way less than the left. Like, it's not even close. Like it's the left overwhelmingly is like, I mean, they all left. They're going to this Blue Sky app now, which is just a pedophile safe haven apparently.
Okay, so yeah, what Blue Sky, like, I've
like heard another Twitter from what I understand, but I don't know who started it or what, but it's like
apparently it's been around. Twitter. It's not like brand.
Okay, so you know what I heard? What was I listening to this morning? I want to say, if I knew the podcast, I would say it, but apparently they had so many people reporting other people that like it dwarfed, and not like just by a little bit, but I mean by like a magnitude of how many people get reported on Twitter every day. I was like, oh, that is so perfect.
It's a left-wing echo chamber, and you're all out lefting each other. Right. That's what they're doing, right? So it's like you're not liberal enough. You said, and it's like report. Also, apparently, littered with child or CP. I don't want to say that we're on YouTube, but like littered with it. Like,
well, apparently,
hand in hand, huh?
Yeah. Well, apparently too. Like, there was like some big X accounts that were going over there, and they would just type in like, "There's only 2 genders," and they get
banned. They get banned.
You're like, oh my god! And that sounds like crazy, but that was Twitter like 3 years ago. Like that is exactly how it was. And it's like, it's so laughable at this point, but it's like, we could easily go back to that at any moment. It's so crazy.
Yeah, I heard, you guys remember Mastodon?
So the only one, like the alternative, if you could call it that, social media site that I got on was Getter, and Getter was pretty terrible too.
Yeah.
So I think we kept trying to say like, fuck Israel. I
remember that. That was a fun one.
That was the first thing that we did, is try to go on there and just talk shit and call. We just try to talk shit about Israel the entire time on there, and they wouldn't censor it.
I mean, this is essentially Reddit is the left wing like app. Like, if you want to, but now but at least I'm far and I know you can't just blatantly put CP on there on Reddit, but on apparently Blue Sky and Mastodon, that shit was just like fucking cha-ching, like down the fucking line.
Yeah,
that's so crazy. Yeah, X is way better, and it's definitely
way better
place for, I mean, I don't know, maybe like maybe I'm biased, but to me, it seems like a free speech place. Like, I mean, I know there's some stuff with Israel and that but from where we were like 3 years ago, you could say a lot more about like Israel or foreign policy or our government than you could ever before.
You can say retarded again. Like, let's start with that. Let's start foreign policy stuff. You can say words again.
I think one of the most important things about Twitter, though, right now is that it's probably one of like the easiest social media apps to get engagement on. So like YouTube, it is very, very difficult to really gain traction on YouTube. Like there's a whole fucking algorithm and specifics that I still haven't even figured out. I mean, I'm not going to
push this show. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, after being on YouTube for 3 years, I finally cracked 1,000 subscribers. And I mean, I had multiple Rogan tier guests on. So you think it would have been easy for me. And maybe some of this is my fault. I'm perfectly willing to admit that. Then, you know, Facebook, I get no traffic on Facebook at all.
I haven't used Facebook in 2 years.
Yeah. So, I mean, like I stream the show there just so that way if people want to see it that know me personally, they could see it, or to talk about band stuff. But I mean, even at that, I have like over 2,000 friends, and then I get like 50 likes on a picture of like my band or something like that. Right. So, but then you go over to Twitter, and then you could easily get a reach. You know, some of my tweets I have a tweet that had over 1 million views. I've had a few that hit, you know, a couple 100,000, you know, a couple that got to 500,000. So like on Twitter, it's so much easier to interact with people because it's so fast paced. And then not only that, once again, you do largely get, you know, interaction a lot easier on Twitter than you do most other social media sites. And like, it could always be better, of course, but I mean, grading on the curve of all other social media sites. And I don't have Instagram, so I just don't know. But Twitter is, by all, you know, my accounts, the easiest website to get engagement on.
No, Instagram, I would say Instagram is helpful once you establish a network. Like you have to kind of get to know other accounts. And then when they post that like on their stories and stuff, like kind of like Facebook, that's what helps you a lot because people just start posting on their stories and then that gets shared around. And that's like the easiest way to get like traction on Instagram. And you can't like my Instagram account, I mean, I would say I can get more like frequent engagement on my Instagram account, but I get like, if like Twitter is hit or miss for me, but when I do hit on Twitter, it's like overwhelmingly more engagement on the post, if that makes sense.
Dude, I called Destiny a cuck last week. I have 16,000 likes.
Yeah, I mean, I've literally uploaded memes of Tim Pool calling Tim Pool Jewish, and they got like over 10,000.
It's insane. Dude, I will say the like big progressive like people, like I don't even like Kyle Kalinske, David Packman, like those guys. Crystal
Ball,
yeah, they're like taking L after L. This past, 2-3
Did you
weeks,
see Dave Smith? Yeah, Dave Smith ratioed the fuck
out of him. I saw that.
Yeah, so like people get like 1 or 2 more likes than somebody. Be like, oh my god, look, I ratioed him. I'm like, no,
this was like thousands.
Yeah, with that Dave one, I'm pretty sure Kyle had like 6,000 likes or something like that. And Dave, I think, had like 18,000. I'm like, okay, that if you like get multiples more of somebody, then you ratioed somebody. But if you just get 1 more like than somebody, I don't think that's ratioing them.
No, it has to be like at least, you know,
dude, all these like lefty accounts were, you know, it's hard to come back from being like, hey, if Trump wins, it's the end of America and democracy as we know it. So like, it's hard to be like, hey, this fascist is going to, and then he wins and they're like, all right, I guess we put up a good fight. So, and it's just, you know, when you get that type of rhetoric of like this fascist is taking over and then he does take over, the next step after that is not, I guess we retreat. Like, I don't want to say what the next step is, but like, you know, the next step is not YouTube friendly. Like, that's where you take it when you hype all your audience up to the next level. It's war after that.
But but I mean, everybody's been doing this ever since. I think most of this, as far as I could tell, really got ramped up once Trump got elected, because once again, you know, it was, oh my God, he's a Russian asset. You know, the country's going to be over. We're going to get into World War III. And then funny enough, we elect Biden. But a lot of right wingers were saying the same shit that he's.
at
Yeah.
that point.
A lot of right wingers are saying the same. Oh my God, Joe Biden's a secret communist. He's going to plummet this country into socialism. But I mean, it was true that, he's been trying his damnedest essentially to start World War III. But then, much to you guys' point, 2024 comes around. Oh my God, we can't let Trump get back in. He's not going to go through a peaceful transition of power or any of this shit. And it's like, well, he gave up in 2020. He kind of took it like a bitch and then ultimately transferred power to Joe Biden. And you know what's going to happen in 2028? He's probably going to leave the White House and he's going to leave to JD Vance, Ron DeSantis, or somebody else, or God help us, Gavin Newsom or some other fucking Democrat.
That's going to be the guy, dude.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's still a lot of time between now and then. There could be a superstar that we don't even know about. So, but that once again, that being said, Trump's going to go out the same way that he probably went out the last time. Hey. He may make some noise. Probably not this time because he can't do anything after this.
His legacy's sealed,
Right. Yeah, the legacy's sealed. So, he'll basically be able to say, I had the greatest record of any president ever in history, and there's going to be no one that's better than me. I'm going to go enjoy my time Mar-a-Lago. And you know what I'll say? Right on, man. Right
yeah. Right on to the sunset, brother.
You've heard it.
Dude, if Trump rode down Pennsylvania Avenue in a tank to his inauguration, the funniest shit of all time.
Yeah.
And you got tank like a Russian general.
Yeah, we got Joe Biden running off into the wild Amazonian forest, and then Trump.
So funny, dude. He literally just wandered into the jungle.
Okay, so does anybody have that video? Because I actually didn't watch it yet, but I really want to watch it.
I tweeted it out. I said I was making a joke about I was
maybe find it real quick.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Pull it up.
I have it on my timeline, I think.
Yeah, we should watch it.
It's so fucking funny. Here, you guys talk. Let me pull it up.
Okay. Cool. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. It's kind of weird too, because I mean, I don't know if you guys saw the stuff that came out about Joe Biden. Apparently, Nancy Pelosi was on a podcast. The New York Post has a podcast, which I didn't even realize this.
Everyone has a podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she said on that podcast that after they got Joe Biden to drop out, they were supposed to have a Democratic convention and a primary and see who would be the best candidate. But then 30 minutes later, Joe Biden endorsed Kamala Harris.
That's pretty funny.
Forced the Democrats to accept Kamala Harris.
Oh, that's crazy, actually.
Yeah, dude.
Wow.
Hey, also follow me on Twitter. I'm so close to 3,000. All right, here we go.
Dude.
I like he's straight up going for the fucking trees too.
Dude,
that's the funniest part.
Dude,
you think he would go down? He would go towards the walkway, but instead he's making a beeline for the fucking trees.
Dude, that really is the funniest shit of all time. I'm sorry. This isn't even like a fuck Democrat thing. This is just that's so. I feel bad for him.
I kind of love it.
They're abusing elderly man.
That's what I mean. I think that's what Joe Biden largely depended on in 2020 is that he was kind of your old, mildly racist grandfather that tries to pretend that he's not racist. And he's so old and frail that you don't want to beat him up and you can't hate him like every other politician. But he really is the worst of everything in our government. But at the same time, it's you can't really bring yourself to have this hell hath no fury fucking anger towards him because he's just so old.
Yeah, Kamala pulls it out of me. Like I said, hate her, dude. But Joe Biden's talking and just God, this is stupid. I wish he wasn't doing this. But you watch him talk and you're like, it's I hate the people behind. It's easier for you to comprehend that it's not him, it's the people behind him. But I know it's probably the same with Kamala, but maybe she's just more annoying. I don't really know.
Listening to Kamala speak in interviews literally made me physically uncomfortable.
Yes.
I would grip my teeth and bear it to get through it, just so that way I know kind of what's going on and what she's saying. But I'm man, this is painful. Can you please just have above a 62 IQ, please?
Because all she did was word salad and then cackle like a witch.
Yeah,
that's every single interview was she's like, and then the thing is the thing. That was every single interview. And you're like, oh, can you put a bullet through my fucking skull? Because this is crazy. Like, I couldn't stand that for 4 years. I just couldn't.
Am I
You want me to
sharing my
type up?
screen?
Yeah.
I'm going to show you that video. I was like, whoa, shit.
To Nancy Pelosi's
Can you hear
interview
this?
with the New York
Yeah.
Times on their podcast, The Daily, that the plan was to get Biden to, step down from the re-election bid. And then they were all planning an open primary. But Biden, 30 minutes after he dropped out of the race, decided to endorse Kamala Harris as a middle finger to the Democratic Party. The other thing to know about Joe Biden is that their internal polling before he dropped out of the race indicated that if he stayed in the race, Donald Trump was going to win even more electoral college votes than he won against Kamala Harris. But they didn't care. Okay, he remained in the race until it was, in my opinion, already incredibly late. And so he set up Kamala Harris for failure. He set up the Democratic Party for failure. But I also want to be clear that the Democratic Party specializes in failure. They're incompetent, they're pathetic, and they lied to the American people and thought that they would get away with it. The cover-up on Biden's mental decline was very much real. And the fact that the party overall felt the need to lie to the American people and their own base goes to show you how little respect they have for their own voters.
All right, last two things.
Dude, isn't that
That's
awesome?
wild. I don't know how to get us back to how we were. Fuck.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. Sam, fix this. Oh, no. I'm all fucking up now. Fuck. How does it go back to the four?
Where's
The
Kyle?
three squares? Oh, where's Kyle?
I don't
Oh,
know.
wait.
You guys,
There
took
you
me
go.
out.
Let's
You guys
go.
took me out. That's not cool. Just
I don't
so, just so
know.
we
I don't
were
know how to do
clear,
it.
by the way, Sam was walking the wrong way on a escalator.
Yeah, he thinks he's a fucking
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
counterculture guy.
Yeah.
Do you guys think Joe Biden Kaiser Sose us?
Huh?
What does
Like-
that mean?
Yeah. Oh, you never see Usual Suspects?
Oh, yes, I've seen.
Okay, at the end, like Nick Cage plays essentially like a mentally handicapped, like limp guy the whole movie, and then turns out at the very end, like he was the mastermind behind all of it,
Yeah.
like behind all the whole movie. You think
There
Joe
might
Biden
be
just
a
fucking
little
did
to
that? Like
Yeah.
he just fucking was like so ahead of the curve. He's like,
Yeah,
I'm bringing Trump in the mix.
Yeah, maybe I had that theory that like when he put on the MAGA hat, he was like, all right, you know what? It's time. Fuck the Democrats. Fuck Kamala. You guys are all going down.
Well, I think there's a little truth to that. Like, I think
Joe Biden wearing red.
Yeah, Joe Biden wearing red to go vote. I really think Biden, at least the Biden family, wanted the nomination no matter what. Like, at all. And then when they got thrown under the bus, they brought the whole Democratic Party down with them. I kind of believe it, dude.
I think it's reasonable to believe that too, because Joe Biden, if you know anything about him, the boomers always got this wrong when they said that Joe Biden was trying to destroy the country. Joe Biden sincerely believes in America insofar as it benefits him and the credit card companies and the military industrial complex and NATO and all these things that he's completely made his career on. So therefore, that's why he wanted to win. He wanted this to be his time because he had to be Obama's vice president. And then he finally got to be president after 50 years. And it was his time. So when the Democrats finally tried to push him out and then finally got him to drop out, he was like, all right, well, fuck you guys. You guys are all going down now because this was my time and you're taking my time away from me. I'm fucking done. Fuck you.
Are we giving him too much credit though? Because we also said he was mentally retarded for the last 8 years.
I said he might be ahead of the curve.
He's like this. Old, I think he's that old dude that's trying to fuck the lady that's trying to take care of him while he shits his pants.
Gotcha.
That's the kind of competence level that I'm talking about.
When I say Joe Biden, I kind of mean the Biden family, the family as a whole, not really Joe Biden.
I mean, I mean Joe Biden in suspect. I think he was senile and retarded, and he knew that this is his time, and he knew what was going on, but he was like, "No, you're not doing this to me." And once again, the old man did not want to go out without a fight, and he was willing to fucking burn the whole party down to the ground. And I mean, let's be honest. I think the Democratic Party is in fucking shambles because unless they figure out some kind of way to bring people back into the fold, normal people, not just single women and just leftists, I think they're going to be in major trouble for a long time. And I mean, once again, we're still talking, there's still 4 years left of Trump's term now, But I think they're going to need somebody like an RFK who can resonate with people to really bring people back into the fold. Because I think like the era of like the Obama, Biden, Kamala, and Pelosi style Democrats, I think that's done for the most part. I could be wrong though.
Well, and I think it is done. I think there was a populist movement in the Democratic Party and they squandered it. They diminished it. They pissed on it. And then they pointed and made the dude that was the lead of the populist movement of the Democratic Party bow down and give all the power from his populist movement back to the establishment Democrats. And that was Bernie Sanders. Mm-hmm. And I think it destroyed the party. I think it made it weaker. And I think, honestly, I think the Republicans were trying to do the same thing with Trump, but it was too strong. And I just think I think there was people that jumped from the Bernie movement. There probably wasn't quite a bit as many Bernie supporters that jumped to the Trump movement, but they might have seen just a little of the anti-establishment that Trump at least talked about, draining the swamp and holding some of these people accountable, that I think some of those populists jumped over to the Trump train. And if the RNC did what the DNC did, we'd be looking at they would have solidified power. And I just think the RNC just didn't have a chance to catch up with it.
Yeah, I think, dude, Trump has MAGA communist. Like, that's actually a thing. Like, right? There's MAGA communists, right?
Jackson Hinkle has like 2 million followers. Yeah.
And he is like, he's not like when you say like leftist communist, you kind of imagine like a loser, blue hair, who has pronouns, he is like actually I know a lot of people don't like him, but he is legit like communist thinking. Like, he understands the communist doctrine and like their goals.
He's more of the Karl Marx of communism, not the Antifa of communism.
And he recognized, at least from he recognized that Trump was a populist and that the liberal or Democrat establishment were the liberal like chamber,
the bourgeoisie, bourgeoisie.
They are the problem. And it goes like, I just use him because he's kind of the most extreme example under the Trump tent. But there's lots of like, it's not just, it's libertarians. There's full like all these disinfected leftists that came from the Tulsi and Bernie Sanders and RFK camp. Like, all these people came under the Trump wing. Like, it all against of the liberal establishment that's been dominating for, I don't even know how long, since Bush Senior.
Was Biden
probably longer?
Who was the last one-term president before Biden? Was Bush?
Bush Senior,
Bush, right?
Bush Senior. Yeah.
That's a long ass time, dude.
Yeah, it's pretty weird. I got so used to like two-term presidents that I thought that would just be a thing forever.
Americans don't like change.
Yeah, we're like dogs. We just like.
I mean, my kind of theory on that is that I think the rate at which things are getting worse here in America is continuing to go faster and faster. That now people are like, okay, well, we need change faster than we did before, where like, okay, so you had 8 years of Bush and people's lives got dramatically worse throughout those 8 years.
Right.
Then they looked at Obama's hope and change. And then by the end of that, people's lives continued to get worse. And then under Trump, it was like, okay, well, now we're far away from a bubble. Like, we haven't had a big bubble collapse in about 10 years. And Trump got to see a lot of like the whole economic bubble expand. So people didn't feel pain until 2020. And then things were so bad in 2020 that people are like, all right, well, now we have to go a different way. And then obviously now after 4 years of Biden, people are like, okay, we are really fucked. So now I think that Democrats have largely burned up their goodwill with the independents and people who are sitting on the fence, where now I think the Republicans have a real opportunity to do something good. I think they're going to squander it completely, but there is an opportunity here. And I think it's kind of gay when people say Trump has a mandate, but I get it, because it kind of does make sense why they're saying it.
I mean, he has put some good people in. I mean, like, I think domestically he's been doing well for like domestic picks, but as far as like Rubio's, like, I mean,
I really hope like that recess appointment thing that apparently they don't need the approval from the Senate or whatever. They can just push them through. It's only like 2 years, But I hope that I don't know how exactly it works, but I just really hope they get like Matt Gates in there.
Gates,
I think
Gates
he
is the most
would
important
go in.
one.
I think he is like, you know how they called Trump the bull in the China shop the first time? I think he would be legit that because he's more aggressive and younger than I would say even.
I think Hexest is that for the defense too. I think that's why he's there.
Well,
he's
so like,
there to be the fucking wild card.
The worst parts of Matt Gaetz are mitigated by his position. So, like, by that I mean his foreign policy takes on Israel, China, and South America are pretty atrocious. But him being AG, that has no bearing. And the only caveat I'd put there is that he did endorse anti-BDS laws in Florida. That being said, I don't think he would go for that at a national level. I'm open to being wrong, but he even tweeted out that he lobbied Trump to pardon Assange and Snowden and some other people. So like the whole freeing Ross thing, I think that's a much
Dude, if he's
more
willing
likely
to put RFK as the guy in charge of the health in this country, I think he will pardon Ross. Like I feel like pardoning Ross is less of a stretch than putting RFK in charge of health in this country.
I mean, I just think.
Sorry, go
The
ahead.
only reason why I was skeptical of it initially is because it's kind of like something. Hey, I think a lot of people did forget. Hey, Trump's campaigning. He kind of wants votes, so he's going to say some radical shit to pull a large coalition in. And he did this in 2022 or as well to try to address libertarians and say they should all come vote for him. But the freeing Ross thing is so like low, like it's not going to offend anybody. Nobody really cares. It's a pretty easy win. But once again, Trump has been known to walk past completely easy and like huge W's,
slam dunks,
that are right in front of his face. So but once again, I think Gates in that position, I think that's a much higher likelihood than if it was Trump with whatever swamp monster he would have picked had it not been Gates.
I didn't see that one coming.
Do you guys think he pardons the J6 people?
I don't know.
I feel like he will.
I don't think he will.
I don't think he will.
Really?
Yeah,
because he condemned them the next day, and then he said some stuff, but
do you know the only Republican, actually the only senator to go visit them in jail was
Massey,
right?
No, Massey.
He's a congressman.
It wasn't. I'm guessing. Was it Rand Paul?
It was Marco Rubio.
Wow.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Marco Rubio was the only
I think so. I think Typo and I have talked about this a little bit. I think a lot of these picks are Trump loyalists. Like that's what he's going for. And I know Marco Rubio doesn't particularly fit in that category, but I think he's I think he has a lot to do, and Typo kind of brought me around to this. I think it has a lot to do with the Latin America stuff that's going on. And I think that's going to be really interesting because a lot of the Latin America problems that we have are due to cartels, and a lot of problems that we have with cartels and how big they are and how crazy they are is because of the CIA. Like,
well, it's the CIA, and then actually in Trump's, when he was leaving towards the end of his administration, with Operation Gideon, which was the coup that they orchestrated Venezuela, the maximum pressure campaign of sanctions and all that caused a lot of the migrant crisis from Venezuela. Like we're talking about Venezuelan gangs, the sanctions that Marco Rubio and Trump both fucking worked hand in glove. And John Bolton too. And Marco Rubio and Trump still haven't backed off on this. That's what largely created a lot of these fucking Venezuela. No, I don't think they will either. And they're going to complain about all the immigrants coming over here. Okay, well, how about stop destroying their fucking country? And some of the dissident right guys say, oh, well, just because we do these wars and stuff, you're saying that, you deserve to have third worlders come over here. No, that's not the argument at all. It's why don't we stop destroying their fucking country? Because once again, when you have an open border, and I hope that Trump's better on the border stuff this time around, like when you have an open border and then you destroy these people's country, of course they're going to come here. It makes sense. Why wouldn't you?
Because throwing coups as an American is apple pie, Kyle. That's what we do. We throw coups. We watch football.
Yep.
That's what we do.
All in a word.
We throw coups. We have celebrate our memorials about it when they fight back at our halftime and before the game starts, and then we watch football.
Do you guys think? I mean, they talked about sending like SEAL teams after the cartels.
I 100% believe that's going to happen.
I mean, that would be first of all, in a non-political, just That would be fucking
Badassery?
wild. Yeah, that'd be super cool. Because you guys
Like-
get wiped the fuck out.
Like if I was a SEAL, I'd be like, me first,
right?
Can
Sign me
I
the fuck
go
up.
first?
I mean,
That sounds fun.
there's no in my mind like perfect way to go about this kind of stuff, but I have thought about coining the term like Bukele libertarianism, where basically if it is affecting, like if cartels and stuff like that are affecting people's quality of life to the point that like they don't feel safe in their own neighborhoods, absolutely send the fucking military in and get all those gangs, all the drug dealers and people who are ruining communities, get them the fuck out of there by whatever means possible, and bring about a libertarian utopia by that. And once again, it's going to be violent. There's probably going to be some crossfire and some shit that, you know, is going to hurt some people's feelings. But I mean, if cartels are that bad to the point that it's affecting, you know, the average American's way of life, then you have to do something. I mean, there's no other way around it.
I mean, imagine these fucking cartels just sitting in their fucking villa, and then they look around, all their guards are dead. He's like, "Fuck."
Well, the crazy thing is too, like, what was it? Colorado. They were literally like taking, like Venezuelan gangs were taking, like, it's not exactly the same. It's not like, I mean, I don't think so, but it may be, but like, it's not the same as like a state government, like sending troops to take over of an apartment complex, but it is foreigners taking over apartment complexes in America. Like what?
Yeah.
Like that is insane that that's happening. And that like stuff like that needs to be shut down.
Typo. They have asylum. They're coming from a country that we can't send them back to because it's too dangerous.
Yeah, it's
the coup we threw.
And I mean, I don't know exactly how true this is, but I have seen this not just from Trump, from other people as well. But it does appear, at least when I've seen it, they are like certain countries are releasing prisoners, like pretty aggressive prisoners from their country, and sending them to America, which is, I mean, it's basically
on the and kind of like further past that. The trial of what's the lady's name? Larkin.
Larkin Rose.
Yeah.
No,
not Larkin
no.
Riley.
I know you're talking about Riley Larkin.
Yeah. His roommate, the guy that killed her, his roommate just testified. I think it was either today or yesterday, and was like, "Hey, they flew us from wherever to Georgia. Like they gave us a plane ride there. And that's how we got here. Like that's
crazy.
And it's like,
that is nuts.
Look, they
fucking insane.
People have been saying it. It's been a thing for a while. And Jesus Christ, Sam.
Jesus, Sam. Fucking
There's
Christ.
two Sams.
Oh, Lake and Riley. We saw
Lake and Riley. Jesus.
He said Riley
Christ.
Lake. I know you meant.
In or out. In or out.
I know.
Out!
It's so fucking annoying. Jesus Christ. Like, pick a thing. He's in the airport. Like, he's going to get good connection in the fucking airport with shitty Wi-Fi.
Right?
Conrail, I think to your point, I think Trump's talking about sending them into Mexico. Like, not like using the SEALs like here. I think he was talking about like they're going over the border.
Yeah,
like
going in.
You know, there's no Americans there. So,
I mean, for them to affect it, if they really are planning on doing these deportations, they're going to have to use the military. There's no way around.
Yeah. My question is, and I talked about this a little bit with Chris Rossini. He was on the show last week, and I can't help but think, I know the first cell phone video that goes up of a family getting broken up, it is going to be tough for them to maintain that.
It doesn't, the emotional side of it won't last well.
Yeah,
but think about how many families that how many people you could go after that aren't families first before you get.
And that's what they should do. Yeah. But that's what they should do. And this is the whole thing about like taking W's, really easy W's, that Trump somehow like manages not to do. The first thing you do is like, all right, where's all the illegals currently in prison? Because there's plenty. So
see you later.
Right there, boom, gone. Then you go, all right, where do we have like major gang-related problems with a large portion of that probably being illegal immigrants? Boom, go there. Knock them out. Get them out of there. And then that's how you should go down the list. The people that have been here for 20 plus years that own a business or whatever, like
I don't
it's
think
like, how are you gonna? Well, It's going to happen. It will happen at one point.
Joe Mixon scored 2 touchdowns, Luke.
Hell yeah. It's going to happen. And it's just inevitably going to be, because the way that they're going to interpret this law, or the way that they're going to interpret anything, it's going to be like
an accident, or a
DUI or something like that. And it's going to be, it's going to be like, all right, this person didn't kill anybody, was drinking in public, and we found out that they were illegal, send them back. And it's going to be, a hardworking father of 25 plus years or something like that. And the whole thing's going to fucking crumble when people see it.
No, that's why you guys nailed it. How many get the prisoners out first, then get single males out, like, who are clearly not here for fucking families. And, it's like, I'm sure there's thousands of them, so it can't be that fucking hard to find. I'm sure they already have. I'm sure some of them are on fucking watch list or whatever the fuck. Anyway, I mean, the amount of routes you could go that
there's plenty of
families away. Yeah,
yes.
Right.
It's just, can they do it? Like, will they do that, or will they just blanket statement and run it horribly and efficiently, like an atypical government program?
To Conrail's point, what is Mexico going to do about it? This isn't like a pro.
More of their country to us.
This is not a pro, like, let's do imperialism, or like pro war. Obviously, I'm not pro war, but like, what the fuck are they? It's like what are they going to do? Say don't do it, and we go okay, and we do it. What are they going to fucking do? Fight us? Like, I mean, no, it's I don't.
We've literally been operating their cartels for the last 40 years. What do you mean? Like,
I'm not saying I want to go to war with Mexico, but I'm not also afraid of a Mexican war. That's crazy.
Dude,
this isn't the 1800s. Bro.
I've seen the Mexican military, and when I was in boot camp, I passed by them. They were not impressive at all. I'll tell you that.
I heard that, Adam. That was funny. I laughed.
Thank you.
I just wanted you to know.
I'm not worried about that.
Yeah, it's just I'm not worried about it either. I mean, it definitely lights a match there that probably doesn't need to be lit, but it's also a match that is very easily lit at the same time. So it's like, hey guys, figure out your own country. You have cartels literally forcing your members of Congress, or whatever they call it in Mexico, and your president, to do whatever they want. So
Congreso. Isn't she a Jewish woman?
Yes,
she is. And there's also like significant, I wouldn't put it past that, like Texas, Arizona, New Mexico, California has cartel influence within their state government.
100%.
Oh, absolutely. Arizona definitely does. I can tell you that for a fact.
For sure does.
Yeah. So like, this is a problem. Like, it's not the foreign entity we need to focus on the most, but it is a foreign one that is here. So, like,
let's use it before we lose it. Use the SEALs. That's all I'm saying.
And just using the SEALs would probably be the most least casualties that I would imagine. If they use drones, it's gonna get bad.
Yeah, no. It should be like
I mean, this is kind of like the way that I always thought it would kind of pan out if there was some kind of like conflict between like the government and the people, is that they're not going to go around dropping bombs on neighborhoods. They'll probably use the SEAL team or some kind of highly trained people to go in and do private ops, and you'll never hear about it. So
what's Blackwater doing nowadays?
Yeah.
They're coming back, baby.
Blackwater, what's his face? Not Eric Prince. The dude from Project Veritas.
O'Keefe.
James O'Keefe. Yeah, he was a contract with them at one point.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either. That's fucking wild.
There's a guy that I worked with when I worked a little bit of armed security out in Arizona, and he always bragged about his time at Blackwater. And he was like, well, I quit because the Obama years, Obama did screw over Blackwater, and they kind of put the blame on them for a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
That wasn't exactly all their fault. They were responsible for some of it, but it was kind of like their scapegoat for what the U.S. military itself was doing.
Well, and Blackwater was pretty shit too, to be honest.
Oh, they had their issues for sure, but they put a lot more focus on Blackwater than to scapegoat our own U.S. military.
What was the other PMC group, Typo? It was Blackwater and there's like another one, right?
Well, the Blackwater renamed it, so it's not Blackwater anymore. They call him something else now. So it could be
a cool name though.
Yeah,
cool
there's
name
a
for a merc group, dude. Blackwater is so cool.
Well, it was made. Wasn't it Eric Prince that founded it?
I think so. Yeah,
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, he has huge beef with the Democrats for what they did. It's like they did to him, but
when I was still a cop, I was like, this is like before.
God damn it.
Like I'm the one with the issue. This guy has fucking. when I was I'm gonna kick him again. So okay, there goes that. When I was a cop, I got asked to join the sea private military, like to defend like cargo ships.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I don't remember the name of the company, but
there's a lot of merchant marines that do that.
But it wasn't that. It was like a private military company, but for specific thing.
G4S.
Oh shit! No, I don't know. That actually sounds familiar.
G4S is a really big mercenary group, but
I don't know. That sounds familiar. Honestly,
they do a lot of merchants.
This was like stuff. This is almost 20 years ago, but the pay wasn't like worth it. Like I was making more in the NYPD than like they were like, you want to go be gone for 6 months for like 80 grand? I was like, not really.
Yeah. Dude, when I got out of the Marine Corps, they were like there was a few times where I was like,
dude, they're hitting you up.
Money's good.
And they're offering you like literally your entire salary that you made in the military in 1 year. And you're like,
like 4 years worth of salary in 1 year, and it's tax free. And I was just like, fuck, man. Fuck. Yeah. But then I was like, but do I really want to go rot in the sandbox for 6 months? Like, I don't know if I can do that.
Yeah, all the stuff I was getting was like 10-month stints in Afghanistan for like $100K. I was like,
I know.
Would you have done the boat security?
God, no, dude. I'm not going near water, dude. I'm not doing that shit.
You were a Marine.
I know, dude, but I rode on a boat once the whole time I was in the Marine Corps.
The HSV, dude. That thing was horrible.
But how fun would it be to shoot pirates in the face?
I mean, it would be really cool. There was a dude that we used to talk to that was a coastie that was like special ops coastie. He's fucking awesome, and he did some pretty cool shit in like Somalia and shit like that. And I was like, man, that makes it sound badass, but I would be the guy that like goes to jump over from one boat to the other to like go fuck up some pirates and just miss and go right into the water. And then I
got my head and get knocked out on
all this fucking gear on me that's just dragging me down to the fucking Davy Jones locker. I'm just like, fuck. Yeah.
Dude, I don't know. That would have been fun, honestly. That would have been fucking fun to do. If they offered me like $100,000 plus, I probably would have done it. I probably would have left to do that. It's like
this was like
pretty hard to turn down.
This is 2017, 2018.
Yeah. Oh, it's way after. I mean,
yeah.
But that was more money than I ever fucking made.
Yours was like the 80s. Sorry, dude.
They were recruiting to go like defend the shores of Vietnam, dude.
Fuck you guys.
Yeah, I just the whole mercenary thing it's pretty. Like, it makes you feel badass, but a lot of times they're just standing guard on like military bases in the Middle East.
Well, like
some of them do like a lot of shit.
Right here, you got offered $70K to, dude. That's not fucking. What is this,
dude? That's more than like an E6 in the. Is this Fish Tank Live?
Yeah.
Is that like a black dude about to fuck a fat dude?
What is happening? Why does Sam come on and ruin this?
Sam,
we're in the middle of a conversation now.
This is culture now.
Yeah, well, we need to roll the intro again. He does this every time.
Every time, yeah. I know.
Sam, stop.
Sam, stop it.
It is 9:00. So let's get those plugged.
What kind of fucking bullshit is like?
Dude, he does this every week.
I fucking hate you.
I hate
God, that was perfect.
I hate him. I hate him so much, but that was a good timing. I'll give you that.
Yeah,
that
was really good.
That was good timing.
Adam, go ahead and do your plugs. Let's
follow me on X, Twitter, whatever the fuck you want to call it, at Adam Nutter. Thank you very much.
Shout out your friend's sports page.
No. Oh. He has to pay me for that. He has to pay us for that.
Okay. Yeah.
That's money.
Common Topic on Twitter. I have Carl Zaw coming back on to talk about China and AI technology versus kind of the whole PayPal mafia stuff on Wednesday. That's going to be a really, really cool show. So make sure you go check that out. CommonCrown.com. And we're obviously here every Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern time, as well as post 0 for me on Sundays. So
I fucking hate him, dude.
I can't wait to get off the
God
stream.
damn it,
Get your plugs out of the way so get the fuck out of here.
Keep it real, Luke, on Twitter. Go follow our meme page on Instagram at Biting Bullet Memes. It's fucking fun. It's hilarious to watch people go crazy in the comments. And we got a new episode coming out this week. Been pretty consistent. We're still popping out episodes.
We're back on it again.
You know, go watch the show.
And at The Real Typo on Twitter.
Boom. Okay.
Sam?
Fuck Sam.
Sam, you have anything? No?
No,
Great.
he doesn't deserve anything.
You're right. He doesn't.